Hi everyone, it's Lana here, and today is Thursday, the 2nd of January. Not quite on to week 3 yet, but my oyster mushroom, my second bag, is, well, it's doing some crazy stuff here. So you can see these little guys on top, not sure what they're thinking about doing. But, as you can see, I have a whole bunch of mushrooms to harvest. Now my other bag pretty much went dormant, so I have it in the other room right now, and I've got the bag over it, and I've been spritzing it every day. I need to go through all my information. I need to get organized and go through all my information. I'm not going to get my other cultivating book until it looks like the end of January now, due to a wild Audubon foraging mushroom book I want to get is on back order until 20th of January. So I think I'll just go with what I have for information, and we'll try to I'll try to share that, because I'm thinking, even though this has sort of been a disaster in some respects, my shiitake mushrooms are really just, I got a few mushrooms off them, but they're sort of funky, so I cleaned them all off. They're drying out right now, and I think I have to dry them out for a week or so. I have to look that up again, but and then one of my lion's manes did not do very well at all. And I think it's more of this room, my grow utility room. Maybe too much light. I'm thinking that is the possibility. I don't think it's because it's too much warmth, but I will get that information sorted also and get that figured out. But I'm thinking too much light, because I brought my other one in and it started discoloring, and so I moved it back to the other room, and it's doing fine, and the mushrooms are actually elongating. The little long mushroom hairs, if that's what you want to call them. So what I'll do is which will be this coming Monday, will be, I think, a 3-week update. If all goes well, I will I'll do an update on everything that's going on right now. My Reishi, I seem to be doing as they're supposed to be at this point, so it's just a matter of kind of working it out. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest these, put them in paper sacks. I'll have to put them in the refrigerator for now. If they dry out in the refrigerator in the paper sack, it'll be alright, I don't mind. We're going to pick these lion's manes. They're getting shaggy enough. And according to Dave at Oak Knob, his started turning yellow. Now, the lighting in here causes these to be a little bit more yellow, but even by my eyes, these are here. And I still think that has to do with light, because his experience is once they start getting elongated, and I'm not sure if you can really see that. This one's a little better. After so many days, then his would start to yellow. So I've been reading up on my mushrooms, and kind of trying to figure out what's going on here, and so I'll be doing an update on that in my next weekly update on the mushrooms. But I thought I'd show you how they're supposed to be harvested. So we're going to go ahead and harvest this one. Most of it, I think. The bigger ones anyways. We might leave these smaller ones to go a little longer, and we'll just see. So it's sort of the same as I might harvest this little guy off, just because he's a little too close to the bottom, and he's starting to get no air circulation causes that. So So you just kind of twist and pull, and then you kind of clean up the area where the mushroom was at a little bit, and it's all I'm going to put that in my compost with my worms. So, and I got to check on those little guys too. So I'll be doing that. So twist and pull. I got a little bit of the substrate off. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to leave these guys here. You can see there's some yellowing. I did pick the ones that were yellow the other day. I might pick some of these off. Clean them up. Like I said, we'll use those for so we'll just leave this one here because it says mushrooms on it, and we'll go ahead and spritz it. Probably got everybody wet there. And I'll put the bag back on. And that just helps with the humidity, which these mushrooms need higher humidity. So now we're ready. We'll get that done. Alright, so here's our little, whoop. We can go and weigh these if we want, see what we got for a harvest. I won't count those little pieces there, but I'm going to stick them in this paper sack now. Unless I read something to the contrary, I've always done paper sacks in the storage of my mushrooms due to the fact if we don't get them ate up right away, got a little rock in there, or dried, whatnot. Okay, so I use a paper sack to store my freshly picked mushrooms in, because a plastic bag or even a container, it does not allow them to breathe, and then it collects moisture. And in this case, when you're storing them, you don't want that to happen, because then you'll have a moldy mushroom. So I use paper sacks. They stick them in the refrigerator. I've had them dry out in their paper sacks and be dried mushrooms after that, and I've still used them, and it all turned out okay. Alright, and this is the other lion's mane block that I've already cleaned up. And the browning is due to lack of humidity, and with the other root, okay, so why I thought the light has something to do with it, and it still does, is because the light, even in a grow light, fluorescent, incandescent, whatever, light situation, causes more moisture to be taken up by the plants or evaporated. Hence why they were turning brown. The humidity was going down, but the humidity is the main thing. So these lion's manes and these oysters are pretty high humidity mushrooms, you know, up in that, I believe it was 90 to 100% range. Anyways, I'll do an update on, I think Dave and I are talking about doing maybe a live stream chat on our discoveries, and then the research that I'll be doing and trying to put together. Alright, our lion's mane, weighing them up, we got almost 8 ounces, 7.75. And you can get a better look at them now too. And I'm showing them that in such a yellowish light. Anyway, they're sort of creamy colored. But this is about the time, or a little sooner, depends on when you should start picking them. There we are. So anyways, not a bad haul. I think I'll put it up in the video. The production on them, they're, you know, for that block. So we'll keep track of that too as we get or not get more flushes. But I think I'll leave this at that. And we'll continue talking on our other stuff. Thanks, bye. So today is Sunday, not actually Monday, which would be my next weekly update. But we have some things going on tomorrow, so I probably won't get to doing a mushroom update. And since there's some interesting things happening here, I thought I'd just go ahead and do it today on Sunday. So this is the first oyster block I harvested from, and so it was resting a couple of days longer than the other one. And as you can see, which I'm really quite surprised of, we have new, let me get this, we have some new pins coming in. And even on this one, well, we'll see how those turn out. They might just be funky little guys, but this is the second one I harvested from. So these are the oyster mushrooms. But as you can see, we are getting some more pins. So this would be week. Let's see, we got 1 week to the 23rd, 1 week, 2 weeks to the 30th. So this would be week 3. And we're already starting a second flush for sure on this one. This is the oyster mushroom I cleaned up and picked. That went kind of brown on me due to moisture. And it's not doing anything yet. Some of these are just some older mushroom things. So we're just going to leave this one as is for now and go from there. I picked some of the lion's mane off of this one, and I left these other ones. And it's the lighting in here. They're not really yellow. It's because it's not overly light in here. So I left a few because they weren't really at the proper stage for harvesting. And so once they get to that point, I'll be harvesting those little guys off of there, and then just letting this bag rest until it starts sprouting again. And so far, well, for the oysters anyways, it looks like I'm going to get a second flush. And we'll see how these lion's manes do. I didn't harvest them as early as I did the oysters. Clean them up. So they'll probably be slightly behind. Probably be closer to next week if they're doing, in my next update, if they're doing any more flushes. So we'll just kind of go from there, and I'll go in the other room and we'll take a look at the Reishi. Alright, for those who may be wondering, these are my shiitake blocks. Now we're supposed to let them dry out for a week to 10 days, I think it was. And so, being today's Sunday, tomorrow's Monday, I think their week is like Tuesday. So I won't be re-soaking them and getting them started again for a few more days. Got some things going on here tomorrow. Take my grandpa to an appointment, so and I want to do a couple of other things. So I think while we're out and about tomorrow, I might try to find some stuff that I want to use and to help with my mushroom growing. So with that in mind, I'm going to go over to the Reishi and we'll take a look at them. Alright, so here's our Reishi. Now, what I did here is I added the humidity tents, but I didn't put the spikes in yet because I would have to cut off their bag here. But it's not the right time yet. So everything that I've read so far, we let these antlers, that's what they're calling them, these antlers grow until they're at the top of the bag. Because we want to keep them in a high carbon dioxide environment. It makes them get longer. And once you completely open the bag is when they start putting the conch on, the actual mushroom type cap. So we're just kind of, letting it go here. So they grow in a very low light, but warm, very high humidity, and very high carbon dioxide environment until they go to make their caps. And then really the only thing that truly changes there is the carbon dioxide level goes down, because then you open up the air, but you want to keep the humidity up, and I believe the light might can go up a little bit, but I don't think that changes too much. So the other room, even though it's probably dark enough for them, is not warm enough for them. I believe, and I'm going to do a video on the Reishi first, because I've been taking notes and things like that, preparing for one. I've been doing them for all the mushrooms, but I'm going to do the Reishi first, and then work on the other mushrooms next. So I'll be doing a Reishi update, a video on just the Reishi. The culture information that I found so far, comparing to what I've experienced with the 2 rooms, and then their medicinal value and different things of that sort. So I'm hoping that'll be interesting for a few people. And so this bag's always been in this room. The light might be a little too high for it, though it don't seem to be affecting it too much. So what I've done is I've just turned, I have two grow lights here, one here and one here. I've only turned one of those on during the day. I make sure that all my other stuff goes off, maybe even earlier in the day, and we've kind of worked out a deal, and if the room is dark, just turn the light on, turn whatever you need, and then turn it back off. But they need the warmer 70, I think it's 70 or above temperatures to actually grow. Hence why this one is now only starting to grow a little bit more, because I moved it from that other room, which hovers around 60, 62, somewhere in there. And they don't really like it that cool. I mean, it takes them a lot longer. And these are very slow growing mushrooms to begin with. So we're in for the long haul on these mushrooms, actually. So these guys are starting to get going now since I moved them into this room. And the reason why I put the dome bags on is because they do require a lot more humidity, and then I thought it would help with keeping the carbon dioxide exposure that higher, because they don't need almost 0 to no air exchange, where the other mushrooms, from reading my one book, which I'll share in another video here, probably my Reishi one, I'll share all the books that I have now on mushrooms, and and what I've been getting from them and in my own personal experience here. But anyways, these guys don't need any air exchange like the other mushrooms. You know, they vary on the air exchange they might need. Hence why these bags have corners clipped out. I don't know if you can see that or not. You might have seen it on other videos. But the corner is clipped out of the bag. And so you're trying to make sure that the bag has air circulation so you don't get the molding and things of that sort. There's just an update on what the mushrooms are doing so far. And kind of what I'm learning. They don't really, so our instruction sheets with these mushrooms, they don't really tell specifics about the light and the humidity and I mean, they give you some idea, but they really don't give you a specific idea, which is why the other book that I have is coming in handy. And then seeing what's going on, I get an idea. But so far, I think overall, these mushrooms are doing pretty good. And I'm learning a lot, so I'm hoping that with a few modifications that I have in mind, I'll have continued success in my growing here. Have a great day, everyone.